Okay then. Now for the spoilers. As per the usual in our reviews, both video game and movie, we'll go over plot, special effects, music, and then what I overall things that I might nitpick about and what I think about it. So, without further ado, let's get into it with the plot after the cut. The plot of this film reads like an amalgamation of 4 or 5 Marvel comic books. Avengers, Iron Man. It's an amalgamation of multiple comics. But that's okay because this is a comic book movie. So basically, here's the overall plot. Tony Stark and the Avengers are helping Thor find Loki's staff that was stolen yet again at some point in the last film. And basically, during the Shatari invasion in the first film. So, they basically trace it to Von Strucker's hideout, the last remnants of Hydra. That's this is a convergence of shit that's been going on in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., shit that's been going on that went on in the Winter Soldier, and shit that went on at the end of the very first Avengers film. It's like, and plus there might be some shit from other I mean, it's a hot mess. But I mean, if you're a comic book fan and you've been reading this shit for years, you have a certain omission of logic that you just accept. But so basically, it opens up with the team going in to go get this shit, and shit immediately goes wrong. Von Strucker has, alongside with his loyal minions, the two miracles, because Marvel is not allowed to use what they really are because they they rented the rights to Fox. So they aren't allowed to say mutants. The two miracles, Wanda, the Scarlet Witch, and her brother Pietro, Quicksilver, who's also a mutant. Basically, they manage Von Strucker's henchman's like, well, we need to use the twins. He's like, they're not ready yet, but they go out and do it anyway. And basically, Quicksilver proceeds to beat the shit out of Captain America, and he assaults Captain America. He doesn't really beat the shit out of him. He assaults Captain America. Hawkeye's trying to blow up this gun nest, and the guy keeps on catching his arrows. So it's like almost a comedic element. Iron Man basically goes in and the Scarlet Witch basically does some shit with his mind. He finds the staff, and he in his mind, she makes him see his worst fears, which for Tony Stark is basically him failing to protect the Earth and like all of his compatriots, his friends dying. So he decides he's going to go forward with his Ultron initiative, which is basically a series of a uber powerful AI robot that would take the place of the Avengers. And he basically figures this out by using an algorithm, an artificial intelligence algorithm that is within Loki's staff. Nothing could go wrong with this. Could there? Well, of course, obviously, this is Age of Ultron. So, basically, it goes wrong, and Ultron is created, and then he goes on this big journey to stop to destroy him. In order to save humanity, he must destroy it. Blah, 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 yakety smackety. Now, here's where I have a problem with this overall villain. Ultron was created by Hank Pym, the original guy who Ant-Man, the original Ant-Man. Now, I'm okay with them retconning it so that it's Tony Stark, because in both cases you're dealing with a guy who has some mental issues, creating something that kind of inherits those mental issues magnified to the nth degree. I'm okay with that. That doesn't really bother me. Some people were like, how could they do that to my beloved Ultron? Ultron has always been kind of a generic villain anyway. He's fought the Avengers multiple times. He's been defeated multiple times. There's been multiple times he's been defeated by different Avengers. They decided to go with the amalgamation of multiple things going on. So, blase. Ultron comes out. He attacks the Avengers, and he escapes, and they're like, oh shit. Not before he kills Tony Stark's AI team member, Jarvis. Of course, Jarvis isn't killed. It's very important. He manages to dump his AI code into the net and foil Ultron's attempts to get the nuclear codes that are hidden in the net. Although, why would you hold nuclear codes in the net? That makes no sense. But whatever. Whatever. So basically, they wind up going on, like, they're like, Tony, you meddled with things you shouldn't meddle with. You know, I mean, even there's a whole exposition between Tony Stark and Bruce Banner where he's like, no, we shouldn't do this. I know they're gonna say I meddled with something not meant to be meddled with. Yeah, and they still do it anyway, and they create Ultron. So blah 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 blah, yakety smackety. Ultron basically winds up going to Wakanda. Hint hint of maybe a future Avengers event movie involves a dark-colored cat person. Well, a man named after a dark-colored cat, and that's all you'll get from me, maybe. But basically, the shit goes down in Wakanda, and the Scarlet Witch basically gets all of the Avengers. Well, except for Tony Stark. She gets, and Hawkeye. She gets Black Widow, Thor, Captain America, like those three dudes. And she winds up getting the Hulk, and that was the ringer, because the Hulk goes batshit crazy, starts tearing up downtown Wakanda. Not a good thing to do. Leading to the penultimate, one of the best moments in this movie, which is the Hulkbuster versus the Hulk, which they totally gypped the Hulk by letting the Hulkbuster win, which is bullshit, because anyone who's read the comics knows the Hulkbuster has never busted the Hulk. I have an issue with that because I'm a huge Hulk fan, but I'll let it go for the sake of exposition. But I digress. So basically, the Hulk goes insane. Tony Stark has to fight the Hulk, and they managed. They're like the Avengers are like, we got beat. I can't believe we got beat, and some bad shit. And they go back to the Avengers mansion, and they're like all pissed about it. And the Stark Tower Avengers mansion, and they're all pissed about it. And then eventually, no, they can't go back. They can't go back to the Avengers mansion because they destroyed, like, between the Hulk, they destroyed half the fucking city. So they have to lie low. So they go to Hawkeye's secret hideout, which is basically his secret hideout with his family. Now, most people say, well, Clint Barton doesn't have a family. Ultimate Hawkeye has a family, who was murdered by Ultimate Black Widow, who Ultimate Hawkeye then murdered. So, I mean, it's an amalgamation of multiple Marvel comics and universes. But he sees his family. He's like Howard Homemaker with his family and his kids and everything. And you know, we see this tender moment between the Hulk and Black Widow, which is kind of touching, but kind of out of left field at the same time. It feels like I said in the thing is that this film has several scenes that were edited out. Like, I think even without Joss Whedon hearing about it, and there wasn't much he could really do about it. If I want to really review this, I'll have to do a part 2 where I'll have to review the fucking Blu-ray, because that's the only way I'm gonna get all the shit that was missed from this film. But I don't mind doing that for you, the fans. Oh, oh, oh. But I digress. So basically, they go to his farm. Thor has this weird vision. He goes to some pool and takes off his shirt because, you know, we need to give women something to look at for this film. Chris Hemsworth takes off his shirt and gets in a pool. Look, if men can see women in wet t-shirts, women can see Chris Hemsworth body from the waist up naked in a pool. So basically he has a vision where he discovers that Loki's staff has an infinity gem inside of it. Ooh. And that the infinity gem within the staff is actually integral to them defeating Ultron. So he winds up figuring out some shit going to the Avengers mansion. Meanwhile, while he's out having his vision, he's on his vision quest, Tony Stark and the rest of the Avengers discover that Ultron has basically gotten one of their friends who has this pod which can heal people, and he's using the vibranium that he stole in Wakanda to create a new version, Ultron 2.0. Now, if you follow the comics, you know that in multiple things, Ultron creates Vision, and Vision was originally supposed to be like, depending on which comic you read, because there's been retcons of it, Vision is basically like, for lack of a better word, he's supposed to be Ultron one-upping his creator. And he does. Actually, Ultron does one-up his creator, but Vision's a good guy. So, you know, or it's Hank trying to create an android to one-up Ultron. I mean, it doesn't matter which continuity you use. He creates the Vision, but he's unable to upload himself into Vision, and they steal the pod that he's inside of. You don't know it's Vision yet, but it's Vision. So basically, the Avengers, Wanda reads the Vision's mind, and she finds out that Ultron just wants to fucking destroy everything. She's like, you said we were gonna get revenge on Stark, and he's like, well, you know, you gotta, in order to make an omelet, you gotta break a few eggs, you know, whatever, Starkisms. Ultron's kind of a generic villain in this film, but he's not really the villain of this film. He's not really. And I'll get to that once I get to the conclusion of this spoiler-tastic review. So basically, some bad shit goes down. They manage to get the pod, and they're like, well, we gave the pod to Tony Stark. She's like, don't you know Stark will do anything in order to, and they're like, oh wait, that's right, because he created Ultron. It's bad. So, Stark sees the pod, and he's like, you know what, we could upload Jarvis into this. And Banner's like, no, we're not doing this shit again. It's like, come on, we're mad scientists. And Banner's like, okay, let's do it. So they're trying to upload Jarvis into this thing. And, you know, Wanda and Quicksilver and the other Avengers, Captain America, they're like, yeah, we can't let Stark do this. And, Quicksilver unplugs it. They're like, no, I can still save it. and Thor comes in and he charges it up because it needed power in order to complete the transfer. And with his hammer, and out pops the Vision. And he basically is fucking awesome. The Vision has his moment, and he proves that he's pretty damn badass because he lifts Thor's hammer. Now, proving that he is worthy. Or, you know, he's just insanely powerful. Either way, the Vision is fucking awesome. Paul Bettany as the Vision. Mwah! But I digress. So basically, they find out that Ultron wants to take Sokovia, which is where Quicksilver and Wanda are from, and basically fly it up Meteor M style to a certain point, then drop it, crack the Earth's crust, and basically have an extinction level event, and whoever's left will be purified, and that's how he's going to be peace to the world. So Wanda and Quicksilver join the team to take out Ultron. Spoiler, Quicksilver dies. The Avengers are pushed to their limits, trying to evacuate the city, save everybody, because they're heroes, and heroes in a comic book universe have to deal with how can we deal with having to face off these superhuman threats while also keeping the populace safe. It's a major issue in superhero stories. This is important. Underline it. So there's this massive battle. They manage to save everyone, but Quicksilver gets shot the fuck up by Ultron, who manages to steal the Quinjet, and basically the Hulk hulks out and throws the motherfucker out of the Quinjet, and some other shit goes down, and they win. Obviously, they win. They destroy all the Ultron clones, because Ultron, as long as he has a body, he can basically just jump from body to body to body. They stop him from being able to upload himself into the net, so there's like one clone left, and Vision destroys that one too. There's some other shit that goes down, and we get to the end of the film where the Hulk is he kind of friend zones Black Widow. Thor has to go back to I forget where he's from. He has to go back to wherever the hell he's from. Crossing Bifrost, the Rainbow Bridge, to go back to wherever the hell he's from, to stop Ragnarok, the end of the world, which is setting up his third film nicely. Iron Man and Captain America are kind of like, they're kind of like at loggerheads, sort of. So, you know, you see the new Avengers team being formed by Captain America and Black Widow, which includes Falcon, War Machine, Vision, and Wanda, aka the Scarlet Witch. So yeah, that's gonna be nice. And that's the end of the movie. Well, almost the end. There is a slight extended scene, slight ending scene where Thanos says, "Fine, I'll get them. I'll get it myself. I'll get them myself." And he gets the Infinity Gauntlet. There are two Infinity Gauntlets, by the way, but he gets the Infinity Gauntlet because Thanos is a bad mamma jamma. Whew, we got that out the way. I'll do music and graphics and my conclusion after the cut. Okay then, I'm combining the graphics and the music because the music is the same scores you heard in the first film. You know, the forget the guy who does the, like, Rudy something, but he's got the same tunes. It's very forgettable. The graphics are a little not quite as polished. You can tell when the Avengers are doing a lot of their stuff in the film. You can quickly, if you look closely, you can see when the stunt doubles are there. So it's like, come on, guys. You could polish this up a little bit better. I think this film was slightly rushed. Just saying. That being said, it's still overall pretty damn good. Still overall pretty damn good. Generally speaking. It feels like a comic book film, and I enjoy that. That being said, I still say the best scene in this film is Hulk and the Hulkbuster suit. It's like the mwah moment of this film. The Ultron fight in Sokovia is pretty nice, but the Hulk versus the Hulkbuster, the pièce de résistance. Which leads to the conclusion after the cut. Alright, the conclusion. As you know, I don't give grades or scores for my film, for my review. So, I'm not going to give a grade to this. I'm just going to say this much. This movie not quite as good as the first film, but in some ways it actually surpasses the first film, because the first film was a superhero film, but the odds, the stacks, the wager, the odds weren't really raised in the first film. Oh, we're going to be invaded by unknown aliens and Loki's leading them. Ooh, big fucking deal. This film actually raises it, because and this is why I'll give this film kind of sort of a pass in some ways. A lot of people like to think that this film is about what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of people like to think that this film is about Ultron. It's not. It's not about Ultron. This film is about, sets up very well the dichotomy between being superheroes with superhuman powers, fighting villains with superhuman powers, who can do massive amounts of destruction, and trying to limit the impact it has on normal everyday people. That's really the film. Like, literally, the reason Tony Stark creates Ultron is because he wants to limit how much damage is done. The reason, like, in the fight in Wakanda, the reason Tony Stark even fights, Iron Man fights, the Hulk, and is because he wants to keep him away from population centers. Like, they're actually trying they actively, in Wakanda, they try to save people. They go out of their way to, like, try to minimize civilian casualties and shit like that. Something that another superhero film that came out the year before last, that some people rave about, didn't do. Man of Steel! So, I'm sorry, I had something in my throat. But I digress. So basically, in Sokovia, they actually try to evacuate the city. There's actually a whole section in the film where there's a plan. They're like, okay, we need to get these people out of here because this fucker's crazy. And I like that, because this is actually a part of most superhero comic books, except for maybe DC. Most superhero comic books, these guys are actually trying to, minimize casualties. Oh shit, we can't have this fight in the city. We have to have it outside of the city. We have to get this guy away from population centers. And we see that here. These people are actually doing hero shit, which is amazing. I mean, a hero actually doing hero shit. That being said, there are some plot points that are completely mishandled, or the cuts were bad. I would have loved to see more shit about Black Widow. I would have loved to see where this hypnosis thing between Black Widow and the Hulk thing came in. I would have loved to have seen Falcon get more stuff going on than just, hey, how's it going? I'm gonna be in later films. I'm Anthony Mackie. Yeah, I'm the guy from She Hate Me, one of the best softcore light films ever made. And it's from Spike Lee. I mean, something, but whatever. Look, listen. Ultimately, this film was really good. I think more people should watch it. I think that I think it's pretty damn good. I think overall it's pretty good. Even though what you're hearing from me is a lot of nitpicking, I think if it's just, the start of the summer movie season, it's perfectly worth watching. It was really good. It was fun. I've seen it twice. I would not watch it a third time until I get the director's cut Blu-ray with all the shit that they cut out, because you can tell they did some clumsy cuts. Not as bad as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle film, where you could tell they like reshot shit and just inserted it in there, but like it's pretty bad. But still, it's overall it's pretty good. It's a pretty good film, and if you are a Marvel fan, you should watch it. So, kudos. I'm sad to see Joss Whedon go, because I thought he really got making a comic book film. And I mean, overall, despite my nitpicks, and I don't think those are necessarily his fault. I think that's the studio and Kevin Feige, maybe other people involved the editing department just editing shit out in order to make time because they didn't want to make a fucking 3.5 hour long movie. Whatever. But yes, go watch this film. Go enjoy it. Go watch Hulk beat the shit out of a city. Watch. It'll be awesome. Hulk smash, bitches.